Hey, this is Coach Shannon. I was looking at your swing, and there's a lot of good things I saw. There was a lot of different videos, so it was very hard for me to just do one recording. So let's go through all of them. So this is your first swing of the day, and let's just look at it. I'm liking how your foot's coming out. I like how your hands are naturally going back already. So those are two things we don't really need to work on. We can get your base a little bit bigger and wider to get more out there, but for now it's fine. The main problem is from right here, from this point of swinging. When you start to rotate, those hands are really, really, really far. As you can see from here, that space is very pronounced, and it's causing you to go around the baseball. Still, like I said, good hip turn. We can get a little bit more hips, and I can show you how I know you can have more hips into your swing. But I'm liking how you're finishing through the ball and you're finishing high. So that's good. This one was a little bit worse. As you can see, when your foot came down, when you're trying to rotate, your hands are super far away from you. This ball's down the middle. If the ball's away, FYI, if the ball's away, you can have a bigger gap. But when the ball's close, you got to keep that in. You got to be able to tuck that in really hard. Let me go back. Oh, this other kid. Don't worry about him. He has a lot to work on. So this is the other swing we had you do. It's a little drill. It's called the T drill. So if you go home, you can do this. Put your foot here. Put your foot here. And like I said, coil as much as you can with your hips this way. Clear that. And all I want you to do is really, get some forward momentum and really thrust your hips as much as you can to that baseball. And already you can see how much this barrel's behind you a little bit better, which is good. And let me compare this to the kid I saw earlier, because I don't want you to get confused with the differences. So this is a kid I had earlier today. His swing was not very good, but look what he does with his swing. He gets his hands back, but look how deep he has it. He's actually casting. This is what you're doing on a very extreme level. So he's getting his hands back, but he's getting his hands back in a way that the bat's so far behind him that when he turns, he has all this space between his arms. You can't see it from the side view, but there's a lot of space. And he's slicing through that baseball. So the bat should never go behind you. Everything needs to come forward this way. But see, in this video, if you can see, you're doing it correctly. I just want to make sure you know the difference. So put a line there. Your bat's still going to come forward through the zone. Everything's going forward. It may feel weird, but the bat's going straight. It's not doing this huge cast motion and out to begin with. And then, no. You're still driving your hands forward. Every motion you see here, your hands, are still going forward in one way or another. So I'll make sure you make that distinction. And clear this. Let me get rid of this kid. I'm going to go back to your swing alone. So like I said, really good with this. I'm loving this motion here. This motion is going to let you stay through the ball a lot more. Let me put the pitches here. You're staying through the zone way better in this way. Okay. Now let's go to your swing. I think it should be this one. Oh, this is my swing. Forget that. Let's go to your swing. Your last swing of the day. And let's compare and contrast. So the main thing I really wanted you to work on is getting a bigger lean back. And the reason I say I want you to have a lean back, so I can explain this to you, is that your bat, if you have a good bat path, your bat's always going to follow the ball regardless of where it is. So if the ball is low, you're going to finish it low. If the ball is high, you're going to finish it high. But the thing the leaning back does, just a little bit, not pronounced, is that it's going to make you have a small, natural uppercut. A small, natural uppercut. So your bat's going here. The ground is here. The difference is not significant, but it's enough that you're going to get under this ball and get it up, out, and out of the infield. The level swing is great for low line drives, but if you're a first baseman, if you're a third baseman, if you're an outfielder, your job is to hit. You got to drive that baseball hard. And that's why you want a little bit more of a lean back. If you're a shortstop, you can stay on your front foot. You can get their barrel a lot more flat to the zone. You just want to hit low line drives. If you want to drive the baseball a little bit more, just have a little bit more lean, and it's gonna make that ball carry a little bit more. So let's watch this. So even on this swing here, you can look at your back knee. That's the big indicator of how hard you're turning your hips. You can see how much already here your hips are turned by the time the bat's basically parallel with the plate. Very, 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 very good. Very good. And then you can see how much it rotates and through the zone. Very good motion. Very good. I would just say let your hips do all the rest of the work. So from here, let your hips finish. Don't worry about your hands. Don't worry about any of that. When I hit the baseball, I don't worry about my hands. I worry about point of contact, and through contact, my hips are going to take me. So, but here is really, 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 really good. Really good. I can tell you have more in the back and the tank, because look at your back foot. It never comes off the ground. You're actually squishing the bug really hard. You're squishing the bug. Most people don't squish the bug when they hit. Let's look at Donaldson. His foot comes off the ground. See how he gets that rebound, how his foot springs forward. Mike Trout, same thing. You can see his foot come off the ground. It's going to spring. And the spring is natural. It's nothing you have to really force to get out there. You're really just going to drive with your hips, and your foot's going to naturally come forward. So let's look at Barry Bonds. I have a recording of him on this thing. Let's look at Barry Bonds, and let's look at his swing. I want to pause it for you to see different things in his swing. So I'm going to just pause in different parts so you can see what he's doing once this thing finishes loading. So Barry has a hitch with his arms. So this is just a way for he gets his timing. So that's not really important. What's really important is everything after heel plant to see where he goes. So he has a step back. Nothing important. But watch what he does when his foot comes down. His hands are going to start coming up. And that's what I really want you to get to. The point of getting your hands back while your feet come forward. That's when you start loading and getting that tension. Barry's feeling all his torque right here in his front hip. That's where he's feeling all that torque and that spring kinetic energy. And once he turns, watch this. He's gonna keep that barrel very close to his body. Barry has a little bit more uppercut than most people because he was trying to hit tanks. I mean, don't get me wrong. He was a great hitter. He had a lot of good things going on aside from his mechanics. He had great eyes. He had good timing. He could have great pitch recognition. Well, God dang it, he could see a lot of good pitches. I'm sorry. But he also had great mechanics. See how everything is really tucked in, how everything is compact. His hands are really close to his body, and all he really did was rotate. Take that off. And Barry, when he got it going, his foot will come all the way off. As you can see, his foot come off the ground. Let's look at Mookie Betts' swing. Mookie Betts is also another guy who gets out there really hard. Now let's watch this. So Mookie Betts has a huge step forward. He has a huge spring. His front knee is bent really well. And now watch his back foot here. How it literally comes up. And he never twists the buck. That's how I know you're really getting more at the pitch. Out of your hips, I mean. So let's go back to your swing. I really want you to work on doing the same drill. Putting a baseball right here. Keeping it in. Just for drill purposes. Just for you to get used to keeping that elbow connected. And then, like I said, I want you to really work on utilizing your hips and making both feet face forward for now. Do that all day. Just make sure you get used to using your hips. Another way you can do it, let someone put their hand on your shoulder, on your back shoulder, and don't even use your hands. All I want you to do is turn your torso and turn with your hips. That's all I want you to do. Turn your hips, turn your hips, turn your hips. I want you to get used to driving your hips like this. This is a great motion. And like I said, I know you have more in the tank too. So that's very promising. versus here, hands really far away from your body, and look how far your hands are before you start really turning your hips. Then you finish more right like a golf swing. And if we look at anybody, like anybody, even Mookie, even though he finishes like this, small guy, look at his lean back. You know, everybody has a lean back. Like I said, it feels weird. People don't really see it. People see the recovery of the swing and how he's standing up at the end. But at point of contact, even him, he has a lean back. He's leaned over the plate. You can see how his left shoulder is above his right shoulder. Let's go back to your swing. On this swing right here, let's get to it. It almost looks like you're fighting to get your shoulders dipped. Just let them go. Let your hips go. See how you're fighting yourself right here? Just let it lean in a little bit more. And don't fight it. And just let your hips turn. Keep everything inside. Will make your swing not just shorter, which is great. It'll make you have also more power. And that's what we're really trying to get to. Like I said, it's a lot to learn in one day. But trust me, when it clicks, it'll click. So let's look at my horrible swing of the day. Not the best swings ever. But like I said, even me, I haven't swung a bat all day. God dang it, whatever. But I'm going to do the exact same thing. When I stride, I have a leg kick a little bit, and I'm going to get my weight going forward this way. Foot's going to collapse. Knee's going to be bent. Hands are going to be back. And when I start rotating, I make sure I bring my hands in hard. Bam. I'm not turning until my hands are in, because I know that's how I generate as much power as much power as I can, or maximize my power. And then from there, I'm going to turn my hips, rotate it, keep everything connected. I can lean back more. I can be a lot more explosive. But this is like my last swing. I'm just trying to hit it. And how I finish to that baseball, get that hard V, finish high. I just do a recovery. But at the point of contact, I'm leaning back. So you want to see this in slow motion. Everyone's doing the same thing. Leg kick, get in position, rotate your hip, stay behind it, finish high. Now let's look at that compared to anybody in the league. They're going to do the exact same thing. They're a lot more explosive. Well, same thing. Finish leg plant, turning, everything keeps in, and finish high. So, like I said, a lot to learn in one day. Don't feel bad. You look really good. Got a lot of good things going on. We're going to really work on, getting breakers and everything else. But for now, everything looks really, really good. A few things to work on. And next, you'll be hitting balls out the park. Thank you.